One, two, three, four, five. Welcome back to the TMCJ podcast. We are on episode 26, a milestone. We have been doing this podcast for half a year now.
Yeah, it's been a long and painful road, but we've got
okay. Long and painful. Oh man, I think no one's gonna believe that. We've both expressed way too many times on this how much we look forward to it during
Absolutely.
the week.
Yeah. Honestly, it feels like we've been doing it longer, though.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, technically we have been doing it longer, but
much like 2020, I felt like it was simultaneously just a rapid-fire blur. It just flew by, and it felt like it dragged on for an eternity. And I feel like sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, did we start this during the pandemic? We did, didn't we?
We did, yeah. We started it last. It would have. Well, if it's half a year, it would have been last summer. So June or July.
Yeah, so been into the thick of the pandemic, probably.
Right in the middle, I think. Yeah, the exact time. It was podcast was something that I'd been thinking about doing for quite a while, and it was only during the pandemic when I didn't have my 3-hour-a-day commute that I suddenly had some more time to actually put some thought into it. And
yeah, God help us when you need to go back to work.
Well, I think it's well established enough now that won't be.
The fuck work? Yeah, cool. Okay.
It's like, I'm sorry, fire me. I've got a podcast to do.
Priority.
Oh my god. So we topics this week. I had one which admittedly was a bit dry and nerdy. I liked the one that you suggested more though, which is also potentially dry and nerdy, but I think you're going to take it in a weird direction. So
yeah,
the topic, do you want to introduce it since it was yours?
Sure. The topic theme for today is different kinds of currency that could be used in an ideal world or in a specifically not ideal world.
Yeah. I think that's the key takeaway there is how are we defining an ideal world? And I think because that's subjective, the answer is going to be subjective as well.
Yeah, I think much like in Sonic, I think rings would be a really cool currency.
You know who used a ring-like currency in ancient times?
Ooh, hit me. History.
China or Japan, actually.
China?
God damn it.
Sorry.
They actually, their coins had a little hole in the middle of them.
Oh, yeah, the square hole in the middle. Yeah.
And the idea was you would, instead of having a wallet or something like that, they would put a string through them. And so...
That's pretty cool.
Similar to how you'd get, like, rolls of coins from a bank, they would have coins, but they would be tied up on a string, and that would be ways that they could, do currency trading.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. You'd go out to the shops wearing like a ring or two, drop them on the counter, and just walk out with like, I don't know, a bag of crisps.
Yeah, I mean, your hands might not be the the best way to carry your money. I mean, you're basically advertising to everyone and saying, "Hey, mug me."
Well, yeah, but if you've got like small chicks, if you had a large amount of money, actually, it would just be like a more valuable ring, wouldn't it?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, like you could wear a gold ring and that's like $100 bill, or you could wear like bronze ring and that's like a $5.
Oh god, I love this idea more and more. I think that'd be really cool.
It would be, but and I think many people, if you're carrying around large amounts of especially small currency, people would probably, you could still use like a purse, like a coin purse, like a leather satchel or some kind. You could do the Chinese method and have the string tied through the coins.
Yeah. Ooh. I don't think you ever got this over in America, but have you seen a program called Raven?
No.
Okay. There's the point system on that is like these large like bangles kind of go around your wrist rings.
Oh.
That potentially. I mean that's very large and chunky actually, but
the You know what show they used rings for payment in some occasions? Vikings?
I feel like Viking. Oh god, no, no.
They had like gold like bangles and armbands and things, and there were some that were considered sacred, and some that they just would use them as currency. Like, here, take this. I'll pay for it this way or something.
Right.
Um, okay, I mean that's a pretty versatile one, but I think it has an upward limit. It's fine for the everyman.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be hard to do a check kind of thing
Yeah.
equivalent. Mind you,
To
that would just be like put a diamond in it or something.
to venture mildly into the political modern day, there's a politician in China, and she did something to piss off the U.S. I can't remember what exactly it was. It was something that merited like sanction, and
Right.
they froze her assets, and in the U.S. bank where she had a good chunk of her money, and so they were. I remember hearing them talk about her. She would have to walk around with essentially suitcases full of millions of dollars in cash because she couldn't open a bank account.
Oh, you just you just spend a small amount of that money on like a basically your own vault. Surely,
Well,
you
yeah,
got that
yeah,
much money.
that's a good point. I mean, I guess if in this hypothetical situation, it's probably a less developed. Well, I don't even know why I'm assuming that. Because
What do you mean?
well, I guess I'm falling into the trap a lot of people do, thinking that we're moving away from hard currency and going more and more to digital stuff, which
Yeah, that's true.
we are, but I don't necessarily think that's a good thing or necessarily an optimal thing,
Yeah,
because we're
it's
essentially trading on people's faith. The moment people lose faith, all currency loses value.
yeah. I mean, on the one hand, it means that businesses are booming because people are like they don't physically see the money, so they're not like as careful about it. I know
Yeah.
certainly the moment uh fuck, what's it called when you like just swipe your card as opposed to putting in the numbers? Touch payment, whatever it's
Oh,
called.
yeah. Well, yeah.
I can't
The
think of the word. It's really simple.
contactless.
Contactless.
Yeah.
When contactless came, I know I was drinking a lot more when contactless came about because I wasn't going up to the bar with a fucking
Well,
like my loose change.
I remember I got weird looks when I Raymond and I came over to London in 2017 because I paid for stuff in cash,
Yeah,
and I did that again. I always make sure that I have some cash on me because occasionally I've experienced like credit card readers and stuff going down too often to not have at least some cash on me.
yeah. Everyone's got a little bit, but it's like minimalist.
Contactless payment actually only came to the U.S. fairly recently. It was because it was there in
Yeah.
2017 when I was there in England, but um, I only just got my very first contactless credit card in 2020, and they weren't that common before. Um, like a couple of places had things like the stupid cell phone payment, like Apple Pay and whatnot. It probably showed up here in like 2018, 2019, and I just didn't notice it because I'm a fucking Neanderthal who's apparently afraid of technology.
I mean, you say that, but you've just got like this super mega graphics card.
I'm trying not to brag about that.
Yeah, it's fine. You can have your moment in the sun. You have
Uh,
2 minutes. Go.
I have a 3090. Brand new Nvidia graphics card. The things are rarer than gold at this point because there's a supply shortage. But yeah, it's things pretty impressive.
So yeah, any professional thieves out there? You
Yeah, exactly. You're welcome to try to break in, although I wouldn't advise it for your health. But there's there's like what was I gonna say? We deviated from the
yeah, I
oh,
was gonna bring it back, but
so
like what your
there
currency
was the contactless thing brings up a conversation I had with my friend Juan.
be? Yeah.
We like he had this joke back in college whenever we'd go out to eat somewhere and people would be I mean he was doing okay because he actually I don't know when the guy slept because he managed to get a bachelor's, a master's, and 2 years of work experience at like an actual company working 20 hours a week, all in 4 years. I and he had time to goof around with the rest of us. So I'm just convinced that he was sleeping like 2 hours a night, like some kind of fucking vampire. But We went out to a restaurant one time, and he had this running joke. It's like, oh, why are you, why are you? One of our friends was kind of figuring out how the bill was going to be split, like down to the penny and stuff like that. And Juan made a joke. It was like, yeah, why are you worried about that? Everything just costs one swipe. Because
Yeah.
you swipe the card and then that's it. And I think you made a good point earlier that people were spending a lot more when they weren't thinking about the. I definitely feel like I'm spending more when I have the cash in hand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, no, like no. Like I feel like I'm spending more.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah,
So I have to emphasize the right word in that sentence. Like if I pay for something, like say I go to the package store, right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And um, I buy like a bottle of scotch
Mm.
or a 12 pack of beer or something. If I'll use beer as an example because it's the same, it's the right price. So it's like $15. So I'll give them, like, if I paid with a credit card, I'll feel like, oh, I barely spent anything. But if I gave them a $20 bill, I'd feel like, oh shit, I just spent money.
Yeah.
And I think that there is a psych. That's why I think it's maybe unhealthy moving towards contactless and like all digital payment, because the numbers, it just becomes a number. Like you don't really associate it with something physical that has value.
Yeah, which is great for the commerce of the country. But anyway, we'll move back. Yeah,
Move back
what
to
would
ideal
your
currency. Sorry, I just we're
what would
moving
your
into
currency be?
we're moving into economics, which is something that I have a lot of. It's another, besides history, it's another thing that I'm a hobbyist on.
Hmm.
Yeah, no. So ideal currency. So the ring thing makes sense, but I honestly, it depends on like the ideal world. So right, if you're talking about the reason that,
Your ideal world.
yeah, the reason that gold has been such a universal currency for so long is because of it has a lot of properties that made it perfect for use as money. Um, that being, in the ancient world, it really didn't have much of a use. It was very malleable and not very strong, so it wasn't very good for weapons or armor,
Yeah, I mean it's
or
an
for.
alloy.
No, it isn't.
Well, no, no. Okay, let me put it another
Oh,
way.
or is an ally. You said or is an ally. Sorry, I thought you said.
No.
What? What did you say?
The we make it into an alloy. Like the fucking money we have isn't made of gold or anything.
It
Like
isn't.
I don't think it ever was made of purely gold.
It was
'cause
purely
it would just
gold.
fall apart.
No, no.
Really?
Yeah, it was purely gold. And the
Wait, in
reason,
what times?
if we're talking like maybe 1,000 years ago, all the way through like medieval times,
Okay.
you can make like gold plated stuff, and you can make an alloy of gold and silver that's called electrum.
Hmm.
Um, but
Oh, I
that's
played enough Factorio. I fucking know.
but no, for like gold, actually it doesn't combine with anything. It doesn't corrode. It doesn't like degrade over time. It stays pure, and it's also very easy to forge, which made it great material to make coins or other currency.
Yeah.
So in I think gold was the ideal currency back, like if you're talking about medieval or ancient times, for those reasons. It also was it was very difficult. There was really not much you could do to fake gold. It had certain properties that were extremely easy to test, even for common people.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's why people used to like put them in their mouth, didn't they? Well, not put them in their mouth.
Yeah, yeah,
but, like,
they'd
do the
bite 'em.
pen test.
Yeah, yeah.
Bite test.
and it's because gold was so pliable that they could do that.
Yeah.
Um, but now I'm thinking obviously that's my answer for the ancient world, but the modern world, what is the ideal currency? I mean, money changes hands so fast. Maybe Bitcoin is like, or some other sort of digital currency that's difficult to fake.
Yeah. I expect you to come up with a far more interesting idea, like fingers or something.
Fingers. Well, I mean, if you're talking about like, I'm personally a fan of like things that have the same properties as like gold or platinum or palladium. They're rare. They're easily recognizable. They're not corrosive or not corrodable, I should say.
Yeah.
Um, and they're easily recognized. I don't know. I'm sorry. I have no interesting answer for you. The rings thing took it out of me. I think I know too many good currencies from the past that I'm like, oh, I can't think of anything better than that.
What about like?
If you're talking about like,
if the coins were made out of like quartz or something, that would be cool.
you know, I just talked about like digital currency.
Yeah.
That could be the new cash in the far future, because quartz is actually capable of holding far more data than like a hard drive or a flash drive or something like that.
That's not what I meant.
No, I know, but you gave me an idea.
Okay.
You gave me an idea. Like so if you wanted like a physical version of a cryptocurrency or a digital currency, crystals encoded with certain like what am I trying to say? Encoded to be like that currency. Because you see like movies where people are like paying with credits, right? Like usually from animated movies and stuff from the mid '90s, or even in the Star Wars universe, I guess they pay with credits. But that might be a way to physically transfer digital currency in like a secure manner, because a quartz crystal, there's a lot of speculation that they could become the new method of like data storage. Crystals.
Yeah. So yeah, quartz memory sticks.
Yeah, there we go. And it's very progressive because the money will be pink.
What the fuck? I mean, quartz isn't always pink, is it?
It isn't, no. But a lot of quartz crystals, they're kind of a reddish hue, like a reddish white. But
maybe that's where value comes from, partially in it. The rarer colors.
Oh my god, I remember listening to a podcast a couple years back, and this guy was talking about this time he was at a museum, and he's looking at like they had like a geology exhibit.
Yeah.
And they had a bunch of different quartz crystals, and he was talking about how this girl and her friend were in front of him, and she's just like, oh, I just love diamonds.
Right.
Referring to the quartz.
Oh.
And these are like quartz crystals that are probably the size of like a baseball. And it's like, if that was a diamond, it would be worth like billions. Like, what the fuck?
No, it wouldn't be that much.
Not billions, but millions. I meant to say millions.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's. I'm sorry. I'm not nearly.
There's a planet out there made of diamond.
Oh, there probably is.
No, they found one.
I'm sorry. NASA is. I think NASA needs to defund its creative writing department.
Wow.
Because, like, this is
you
one
think
of...
Neil Armstrong was only in California?
No. I'm not a conspiracy theory nut with, like, the whole moon landing was fake thing.
Okay.
One of my favorite memes was, like, you know the big brain memes where it's, like, you know, small brain, big brain, galaxy brain. It starts off, and the first one is, like, you know, the moon landing was real, and that's the smallest one. The next one, the moon landing was faked in New Mexico, and then the next one, the next one is like the moon landing was faked in New Mexico, and then the last one is the moon landing was faked on the moon. And I don't know, it made me laugh. But no, not that. I just think that I guess they have to keep the public interested, but it just feels like they're making shit up half the time. It's like, how do you... The planet's like 1 billion fucking miles away, and you can't even tell us how many planets are in our own fucking solar system.
What do you mean? Yeah, they can. Oh,
Like,
well, you talk about Pluto.
well, not only Pluto, but they've just found like 5 other exoplanets out in the Kuiper belt. They're now like reclassifying dwarf planets from the asteroid belt. They don't even know how many planets are here. There's speculation that there might be a sun orbiting our sun, like billions of or millions of miles away.
Yeah.
So, I
Yeah.
know
So the
I know
sorry.
the science behind it. They look at the atmosphere of a planet and the light reflecting off of it from its own star. They measure like the blink of the star, like how the light like fades and comes back up, and that's how they make determinations as to what the composition of the planet is and its size.
Yeah. So it's 40 light years away,
Yeah.
and it is worth 26.9 nonillion dollars. Didn't know nonillion was a thing, but
Oh yeah.
that's
There's tons.
26.9 plus 30 zeros.
Yeah. Nonillion isn't even the biggest one because after that comes what is it? Dectillion, and then I don't remember the one
Right.
for 11. But then after that comes I think dectillion might actually be 12. Anyway,
384 quadrillion times as much as planet Earth's gross daily GDP, gross daily profit.
gross domestic product.
Oh,
So
according to Forbes.
that's great, except they're not taking into account that the moment all that diamond hits the market, it drops
It's
in
gonna
value.
drop through the floor. Yep, getting
Diamonds
more
are
common than dirt.
diamonds are a commodity that's kept pretty artificially high in cost. Like there are actually quite a few diamonds that are held in reserve to maintain the value of diamonds.
Imagine all that cutting power, though.
I know. Well, and that's the other thing. You can just make a fake diamond.
Can you
Yeah. They've been
define a
able
fake diamond?
a diamond that is it's an actual perfect flawless diamond that is created in a laboratory. It's how they make like diamond edge drills and stuff like that. It's very easy to create. Well, not very easy, but it's
I was
become
gonna say, yeah, great. Fuck podcast. Let's go make diamonds.
well, that's the thing. They're not very valuable and they're very easy to determine as fake. And the
Right.
reason is because the diamonds made in laboratories are perfect. They have no flaws. So, when you see like the stereotypical jeweler with the little eyeglass thing looking at the diamond,
Yeah.
that's because he's looking for the flaws in the diamond. So if a
Can't
diamond,
they input the flaws?
I mean, I imagine there's some things stopping them from doing that. I don't know what. I don't know like all the nuances on how they're determined, like how they're created, or if there's a fake market, or if there's laws against them doing it. But
Yeah.
I know that at least is the concept that I've heard. You can make them because a diamond is just hyper compressed carbon.
Right.
So they can make artificial diamonds in labs, and I can't remember what they're called. There's a name for them. I think it starts with a Z or something. Oh,
You want to
whatever.
waffle while I look it up?
Yeah, go ahead. All right, so I feel like I'm not being creative at all. You came up with this topic, and I feel like I should be able. I'm just giving history references. I basically just feel like talking about history this morning. That's what it's coming down to.
Yeah.
Which is why I thought of the topic that I did.
You think it starts with a Z? Oh, zirconia.
Zirconium. Yeah,
Cubic zirconia.
yeah. So it's basically just it's an artificial diamond. You can buy like diamond rings with cubic
Oh.
zirconium. What?
There's the hang on, I just gotta show you because it's
All right,
kind of
for
cool.
for the benefit of everyone
Yeah,
who's
sorry, everyone
listening.
else.
Oh my god, that's so adorable.
Right.
All right, so it's a silver banded ring with, I'm assuming, a cubic zirconia diamond in the top of the ring. And then there's like a little dragon, like from How I Trained Your Dragon or whatever it's called, or
It's Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon.
yeah, and he's hugging the diamond on the top of the ring. That is adorable.
Yeah. No, Alicia, you can't have one.
Cubic zirconias would probably be cheaper. They're
Yeah, I mean,
they're
this one's what, £99?
yeah. Well, that's the thing. They when I said they can be made easily, I should have said that these days they can be made cheaply.
Yeah.
Like you need specialized equipment and stuff to do it, but it's just carbon, basically just coal, and then you just crush it down and create the diamond. So they can be made quite cheap. Oh, that one's cool.
Right?
It's like a dragon claw ring or something, or like a bird
Yeah.
claw
With hidden
talons.
gemstone.
Huh?
Sorry, I'm getting totally.
Yeah, you know what? Well, I mean, it looks cool.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh my
man.
god, that looks so cool.
All right. Do you? Let
Sorry,
me.
I'm very distracted now.
It's fine. I am going to try to think of one genuinely. I'm
Okay.
going to try to think of like one genuinely creative solution for currency
Okay.
before we actually end this, and I'm going to fail miserably.
No, no.
See, I'm of the thought that like post-apocalypse. Try to think about like what would actually. There's that old
Yeah.
like tired metaphor that like, oh, if you had $1 million and you were on a desert island, it would be worthless.
Yeah.
And they try to people try to trot that out as a reason that money is worthless, but it isn't. Like that money still has value. It just doesn't have value in that circumstance.
Hmm.
So I
If
think
all you've
that
got to start a fire, then.
yeah, I think tools would be an interesting form of currency.
Wait, you're trying to sell me now?
Yeah, exactly. Get out of here, tool bag. No, but like, so I had it on the podcast one time when one of the quiz segments. That axe I have, it's a hatchet, hammer, like all these different things. I
Yeah.
think, like, I've always liked the idea of a post-apocalypse economy where you've got like everything that's traded in theory should have. Fallout's a weird exception to this, but things that are traded should have like practical value. So,
Yeah.
like, have you ever seen
A
the
trading
movie?
system as opposed to a.
Yeah, have you seen the movie Book of Eli?
No.
Oh, that's a pretty good one. But there's a scene in it where Denzel Washington, the main character, he's trying to buy a recharge for an electronic device he has and something else. I think some water. And for that, he trades like a kind of a sturdy cloth napkin and some pre-packaged like moist wipes from a restaurant that he has. And those are considered like real. Those are the things the shop owner really wants, like the moist wipes, because everyone is like really dirty. Like water is a commodity, so people aren't washing the same way they used to. Presumably, like river water and stuff like that is contaminated,
I got you, yeah.
and so like that's always been something that fascinated me. So I think like trying to think of a currency as something that has practical value as being like the greatest commodity. So like in that case the moist wipes. But it's something that is practical but at the same time finite. Like you can trade it back and forth, but the moment you use it, it's gone.
Yeah.
You've consumed all of that value. So the very thing that's making it valuable makes it so it's never used.
Hmm. I mean, it's the same thing, like, why you never really want to use guns too much in Fallout is because you're basically pissing your money away every time you fire a bullet. Which you
Yeah.
are doing anyway, because you have to buy the bullet, or steal one, I suppose. But you do feel a more of a sense of, I'm literally losing money every time I fire a bullet.
Yeah, that's not Fallout though. What game is that?
Fallout? Yeah. Oh
No.
no, that's caps, isn't it?
Yeah, but Fallout
I'm
they use
thinking
bottle
of,
caps.
what is it? God, the Russian one, Metro.
Yeah, Metro. Yeah, Metro Exodus.
Yeah.
Yeah, they use bullets as currency, and
Hmm.
I think that's a. I mean, it's a good idea, but it's the same concept. You're right. You're trading in something because it has practical value, but by using that practical value, you are essentially exactly like you said, pissing away money.
Yeah.
It's
I
remind.
suppose it saves on carrying around a big fucking wallet of cash.
Yeah, that just reminded me of something. Oh, I just lost it. It was something we were just talking about with like the whole post-apocalypse like practical use things. Oh well. If I think of it later, I'll say it.
Oh
Um,
dear.
I think we've kind of exhausted this topic though, and we are coming up on the end of the segment. Any
Ooh,
final?
dice! That'd be a great thing to trade. Sorry.
I mean, dice. You can gamble for it and lose
Because
it.
there's. Exactly! Oh my god.
You can gamble
There's some
with your
pretty.
money. You could
Uh,
literally gamble with your money.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, you
All
just
right. Any
throw
final
dice, and
thoughts
then if they
before
win, they just take your dice.
before we close it out?
Uh, don't gamble, kids. And there are some really cool rings out there.
I like that last one you sent. It was
Yeah.
really cool. But no, that first one just with the had the toothless dragon. That was adorable.
Mm.
All right. Yeah. Okay. This is going to be the end of segment 1 of the TMCJ podcast. Thank you all for listening, and you will hear us again momentarily.